User data collection can be overwhelming for a lot of marketers, but done correctly, it can provide a 360-degree view of your customer. I'm MarketingSherpa reporter Courtney Eckerle here at the MarketingSherpa Media Center at IRCE. And sitting here with me to talk a little bit about this topic is Sonesh Shah, who is the Director of Digital for Bosch Power Tools. Welcome.
Thank you.
So to start off, tell me a little bit about how you have implemented user data collection at Bosch Power Tools.
Sure. So Bosch Power Tools is part of a much larger organization of Bosch. And we actually have three major power tool brands. We have Bosch, we have Dremel, and we have Skill. And our products are generally speaking sold through large-scale home sale retailers, so the Home Depots, Lowe's, Amazon. So the majority of our business is actually not conducted by us. We're not a retailer, we're a brand manufacturer. So when it comes to user data collection, this presents a tremendous challenge. Our users love to engage with our brands, they love our brands, but we don't really know what anyone owns. So when it comes to user data collection, we have kind of a two-way look at how we actually do it. The first is allowing users to sign up to engage with us. And this can be anything from an email marketing to warranty registration, to product registration, or at events, things like that. So we've kind of gone through a pretty big journey here because our business has mostly been conducted offline, and over the past few years it's really migrated online. So as our business was offline, a lot of our events, a lot of our data collection was actually very manual. I remember a few years back where we would have just piles of paper of user data. So we went through a pretty large shift and journey in terms of digitizing all of our old customer data, putting that in, trying to match that up, trying to make sure it was legal, trying to make sure it was compliant. And then now as our business has shifted online, we're really leveraging as much digital resources as possible to collect more and more user data. Now some of it's third party, some of it's first party, but trying to really access as much first party user data as possible.
And that's a really big challenge for a lot of marketers is some of their data systems are still manual and they have to comb through it, or they're held in different areas and they're not all synced together. What's some advice that you would have for somebody who's approaching that shift into a more automated system? So
I think the big challenge with some of these things is not that the technology or anything doesn't exist. A lot of times with it's getting buy-in. From an executive level or a sponsorship level. And why I say that's important is because user data collection is a hard thing to drive a quick ROI off of. And if the organization that you're trying to change is still kind of thinking in the old world of really detailed ROI calculations on every project and technology project, it's a real big challenge to get the investment you need to really make this work. Secondary, if you do have that, a lot of this is organizational change too, in terms of having the right people, both making sure the right data is being collected, right? And this is not just a marketing function in some cases. I mean, you can get data from the sales teams, you can get data from marketing teams, you get data from product teams. It's kind of all over the place. So you got to create that culture of we want to collect data, and it's not always just user data, but mostly on the user side. And then secondly, it's about insights, right? What do you do with that data, right? So as you kind of piece together all those elements of that chain, I think you start to see an ROI that may not be financially driven right off the bat, but a clear use cases that anyone can understand of why an organized, systematic approach towards collecting user data and then providing insights out of it is a tremendously valuable opportunity for any brand.
And I think one of the insights you've been able to drive from it is personalizing your content for customers.
Absolutely. So this is a huge part of, like I said, those use cases, right? As we talk about why collect user data, what are we going to do with user data? Our products from a power tool side span anything from a home DIYer to a professional construction worker to a metal worker. So you get very trade specific in terms of why you would like to use a certain power tool, even application specific. I want to cut wood or I want to cut metal. And usually as you talk more to the professional, they are actively engaged in a very serious task all the time. And personalized content becomes really, really important for those folks, right? So for example, you don't want to talk to a woodworker about the latest metal cutting device out there. So you really want to talk to them about the products they care about, the technologies they care about, and having that level of user data, even if it's just at a trade level or an interest level, really allows us to then say, on a marketing, on an email marketing side, even on an on-site side, really talk to them at the levels they want to.
And as you were saying earlier, you're collecting data across a lot of different teams. So how do you create that culture?
It's a great question. I don't think we have the answer for it yet. We've been pushing towards it, and I think, again, it comes back to outcomes, right? So everyone gets more and more engaged when the outcome that they can easily see is going to help them do their daily business. So for example, a event marketer who's challenged with getting all the user data at a certain event, what's it useful for? Well, it's really useful for the next time you're going to throw an event, and it's really useful for talking to those guys after the event and pre-event and making sure that event is successful. And so as soon as they can start to see the outcomes that come from data collection, they really start to drive more independently and organically about doing it and trying to build their processes around it.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with us.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
And if you would like more marketing tips, tactics, and case studies, please visit MarketingSherpa.com.